I would like to start from looking back rather than forward, just for a moment, and just going through what we have worked on in LeadDesk Outbound product during the past year, because it's already almost Christmas, and I think it's worthwhile to remind all of us what have we worked on. So we have, in 2025, we have done a few things. Those are the most relevant, which I think are important for everybody to remember. We have enabled you to take actions on unanswered calls, meaning that whenever a call goes unanswered, then you can decide what happens next automatically. And that's to keep up the conversation alive. Then we have if I can, yes, we have also delivered this feature that allows you to choose the outbound number based on the outcome of the previous call. Again, making sure that whenever there is a successful call or not a successful call, you can decide what number do you use after that. And the other feature we have released as well is that you can choose now an email address per project. Before this wasn't possible. So if you're using an email after the call, then you can decide what kind of email address the agent will use. Most importantly, now stealing a bit of thunder from Shweta, sorry for that, we have released AI Transcriber and Summarizer, and those are very important features because they allow you to transcribe the calls that your agents make and summarize them, which is a very important efficiency gain for your agents. We also optimize the call initiations, bring it below 5 milliseconds. So those 5 milliseconds stack up, and saving a bit every call will mean that your agents will be able to give more calls, make more calls at the end of the day. The other thing, we have worked also on the AI dialer. We have added new and lower target drop rates for AI dialer, meaning that you can decide, for instance, to have a target drop rate of, for instance, 0.1%, which means that 99.99% of the calls will actually not be dropped, which is, I think, something that if you want to get there, it's extremely important. If you were using chatbot, then we added the ability to add a knowledge base, which is what it is, a knowledge base, meaning documents, for instance, web links, or any kind of information that will allow the chatbot to answer by itself based on this data. We are releasing now in beta the multi-factor authentication, or MFA in short, which will increase greatly the security of your environment in LeadDesk, making sure that nobody gets unauthorized access to your environment, which is, I think, very important. And last but not least, AI insights. I will let maybe Shweta talk more about that later. So I'll keep a bit of the suspense there. Most importantly, 2025 was a year where we have actually met a lot of you, and we have organized many events in person, and sharing ideas, listening to you, talking to you, trying to understand what's your perspective on the world of call centers, and really bringing you as well the same kind of insights that we are trying to bring you here. So thanks for being with us today. Thanks for being with us in the events if you were there, because it was I've been in a couple of those, and it was really great to be there with you. So that's the kind of 2025 wrap up. And now I'll move on to talking about customer trends and insights, which, as I said before, is a collection of, or a sum up of all the discussions that we have had in the last year, maybe year and a half even, with all of you, with competitors, analyzing the markets, and really understanding where we feel and think that this industry is going towards. So let's go. What is very clear is that outbound, at least in Europe, is very much under pressure. There are more strict rules, and the regulatory tightening is happening. That's very clear. We have seen it everywhere from the south to the north of Europe. We have seen laws being passed to protect the customers, and but that means that the rules for us are tightening as well. The consumer behavior is shifting. I'll talk a bit more about that later in detail, but we are seeing that consumers are behaving differently. There is technology involved, there is cultural reasons, and that's also something which affects all of us, because in the end, people sell to people, and Outbound is a game of people and relationships rather than just technology. Last but not least, we have realized and seen that we don't believe that Outbound can rely anymore on volume alone, but there has to be something else and something more. So going a bit more in detail on these topics, the key trend, the number one is regulation. We are seeing that many countries are moving from opt-out by default to opt-in, and that's happening basically across Europe. Some countries have done it before, some countries are doing it or will do it, but this is a clear trend that's happening. And even some countries are requiring double opt-in or having specific call scripts, like Netherlands, for instance, or requiring landline only outbound numbers, like Spain, for instance, and I think Italy as well, if I remember correctly. And this is, of course, making all of our lives a bit more difficult. At the same time, regulation means that the, let's say, lesser good actors are being pruned out from the market, which is also good side of this, or like good side effect of this. Also, we have seen that compliance with this regulation is becoming really a competitive differentiator. Those who will win, we believe, are going to be the ones which will adapt faster, and there is a bit more on that later. So that's the key trend number one: regulation. We have seen it. We are going to see it more, and I don't think, and we don't think that this is going to fade away. That suddenly countries will decide that, okay, let's scrap everything and let's go back to what was before. The key trend number two is the customer expectation changing. I think this is a slowly moving train, but still this year we have seen it quite a lot, that people are not anymore answering calls by default. If I look at, for instance, my son, he doesn't even call me anymore. He just writes me messages. So that's just one anecdote, but I think this applies to a lot of us as well. There is a huge distrust of unknown numbers and growing intolerance of interruptions, of your unexpected interactions. There was a story some time ago about a Nobel laureate that was being called by the Nobel Institute to tell them that they won a Nobel, and the call was coming from Sweden, and the guy was in US. And of course, it was also in the middle of the night, which wasn't very smart from the Nobel Institute. But he saw the number coming from Sweden, and he said it was spam, and he just didn't answer. So this is happening all over the world. Europe is no exception, and this is something which also is clearly a trend. So we also see that the younger generations, or what used to be younger generations and now are Gen Z and Gen Alpha, are coming into the workforce, and they do prefer messaging first communication, and this is something which is another very, very strong trend we have seen. So customer expectations are changing, behaviors are changing, and that's part of the culture. And the implication is that Outbound must be relevant, must be respectful of the customer wishes and customer situations, and it must be contextual as well. Key trend number 2, then it's about customers. If we move to key trend number 3, which is a sort of a sum up or a natural consequence of what we have gone through already, is that we see a shift from volume to insights. And what does that mean? It means that the traditional let's call more and let's have more conversion is probably fading. Maybe you have already noticed that your conversion numbers have started to drop a bit. That's not your fault, I think. That's just the way how the market is changing. And the outbound is becoming more of an insight game, which is powered by behavioral signal, contextual relevance, timing, and multi-channel touch points. All of these is something which is coming to abound very fast, of course, powered by the new technologies, AI included, but it's also, I think, a good thing for us and the customer if we are able to enable you to actually get these signals and get the context as well. So think about, for instance, an energy company which is running a campaign in a city, let's say a sunny campaign in Berlin, and then first you get an SMS, or you as a customer, I'm talking about, of course, you get an SMS saying, hey, we are energy company XYZ, and we're running a campaign in your district, maybe even not just in the city, but in your district, and we can offer you 20% of the price of electricity if you answer just yes to this SMS, and then maybe the person answer yes, and the context gets to the system, and then right after that call, that SMS, a call comes to the customer, and the customer is primed, it's, let's say, warmed up, and it's much more willing to answer the call from that number than if not. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, and a lot of these things can be automated in the future through AI. So what we believe, a sort of a result of this key trend, is that the winners will deliver mass personalized conversation, not mass dialing. So it's a shift from sort of AK-47 of calling to a very tailored experience for the customers. This is what I was talking before. So we think that best practice is to start building micro journeys, which work multi-channel, so that the customers will not have a single touch point with you or with the companies you work for, but they will have multiple touch points, and this will be part of a journey that the customer is having. All of this assisted and powered by AI that can continue this conversation even without the agent being actively involved, or maybe with the agents triggering some sort of signals to the system. So to sum all of this up, I believe, or we believe at LeadDesk, that outbound is evolving. It's not declining, so let's not give up quite yet. We believe the regulations will keep tightening, not going back. There is no way back from countries passing these kind of laws. We believe that the customer expectation will keep rising. It's not anymore enough to just get a call and try to close a deal in a single call. There has to be a journey. And as said already, we need to move from something that is disruptive and interruptive to something which is continuous and contextual. So this is the kind of trends that we are seeing in Europe, and of course the assumptions that we are making when we are building our next steps. So the companies which will embrace data, AI, and multi-channel, we believe will see higher conversion, higher compliance, and of course more efficiency in the end of the day. Yet again, outbound is not longer about the dial volume, but mass, but it's about smarter engagement, better timing, personal interaction, and all of these at scale. If you work with the right tools, and of course, LeadDesk wants to be that tool for you with the right strategy, we can help you on that. Outbound remains not just a viable business, but we believe it is and it will remain a competitive advantage for any company which does it really, really well. And of course, we're here at LeadDesk to help you doing outbound right and well. And that's where I would like to leave the conversation to Johannes, which will drive us through the next phases of our roadmap in 2026. So please, all of us, welcome Johannes, and I will be happy to later on answer questions in the chat. Thanks a lot and have a great day.
Thank you, Stefano, and I will share my presentation.
Okay, it's on.
There we go. All right, so I'd like to start with our slogan that some of you might have seen: simplify human connections. Talking with customers is your business, making it easy is ours. So, simplifying human connections. For example, a call robot, an AI dialer is calling automatically to customers. A customer phone picks up automatically as well. Customer phone notices that it's an unknown number, so it goes into call screening. Call screening being something that, for example, iPhones already support. So they pick up the phone, ask some questions to ask who called, why did you call, and then waiting for the response from the caller. And at best, the robot also knows to answer, hey, I'm calling from LeadDesk to sell call center software. And then the robot receives this message and turns it into text and notification for the customer that, hey, LeadDesk is calling for selling call center software, and then the customer can decide if they want to pick up or not. And basically, humorously, this is something that we can think about as the future, that robots are just calling to each other and talking with each other. But the fact is still that reaching customers with the evolving technology is becoming harder and harder all the time. And it's not only the AI, it's also, as Stefano mentioned, the increasing regulation, and because the customers expect the good experience. And since we are here in the business to make it easier to talk to your customers, this is also something that we're really heavily focusing on. And especially since the regulation is something that some markets are already struggling with. And as mentioned, it will not at least get reduced in Europe. For example, do not call list integrations are something that are in our roadmap for 2026. We already support close integrations with some. So for example, in Belgium, we already have a ready-made connection with the Belgian do not call list provider. But we're also trying to make this much easier for you, since a lot of markets already have some sort of blacklists or Robinson's list or the do not call list. So this is something that you can look forward in 2026. Also mentioned the opt-in or double opt-ins. We're making it easier for the agents to see if there is opt-in for this customer. And usually in the countries where this is required, it should be visible so that the agent knows to tell the customer when they got the opt-in, why did they got it, how did they get it. And also, if the customer is interested in other products or other campaigns they have, they can also then add the opt-in to other campaigns as well. So basically making it easier to call the customers again. And for some multinational corporations, and as well as especially Spain, it's important to call with a local number. So we're making it available for you to configure which outbound number you use for customer in specific region. But all in all, when we talk about the cold calling, there might have been some spoilers in the Stefano's speech, but kind of the question still pops to mind, that is cold calling dying, or rather is the European and local regulators trying to actively kill it? And basically, before I answer the actual question, I have some trivia about cold calling. So basically, the success rates vary from about 5 to 10%, depending if it's B2B or if you're reaching customers. And it really depends on the market and the sales team. So basically, in the UK, there's a different pickup rate than or success rate than in, for example, Spain and so on. But also it depends on the sales team, so that the top performers can exceed even 15% success rate. And most interestingly, personalized calls have significantly better results than generic scripts. So all of this and sales directors' consensus and what Stefano mentioned, that maybe on the contrary to the popular belief, cold calling is not really dying, but it's just changing. So it's emphasizing the human part of the human connection. And that's also something that we want to help your agent to do as well. I feel like the most important job is for us to enable the agent to have the human connection, bring the human element to the discussion by not having to worry about what buttons to press, how to use the software, but just concentrate on having the conversation with the customer. And also with the efficient call robots, the AI dialer, we want to push the agents to the calls with minimal waiting time, not only because it's efficient, obviously, but also because the agent kind of gets frustrated the longer the wait time. And then we'll allow them to just pick up the phone faster and push for the next call, push for the next discussion, push for the next sale already faster. And also, of course, give some love to the call center managers with faster setup, so that the call center manager does not have to spend time nibbling some settings or anything, but or updating call lists or anything, but just so that it's very easy and fast to set everything up, so that they can concentrate on supporting the agents to actually have the human connection, to actually do this sales work that they're doing. And in practice, what this means in the software is that we try to make it simple, so that the agent knows which buttons to press and when they have to do some actions like callbacks on orders, it is very easy and fast for them to do. And then end the call, set the reason, move on to the next call. And also what we allow is simple integrations of your own data, so that the agents have all the data that they need from the customer available for their use by doing some sort of integrations. For the managers, we've also last year released the project flow, which makes it easier to set up project and actually see how the outcome flows go. And this is something we're also going to be working on this year or next year, and then make it even easier and more straightforward, more fast to set up projects for the admins. On top of that, we're going to have a little bit of a facelift to our products and orders to make it easier to use, and also add some versatility to settings. We're seeing, for example, in some cases you'd need a lot of products or a lot of variations for one product, and we're adding support to that sort of customizations. And also we're continuously improving the AI dialer to not increase the drop rate, but reduce the agent waiting time. And then, of course, the call center manager wants to see the key numbers, key reports, key statistics for the call center to actually improve it, because without the performance measurement, you cannot really truly improve the performance either. So also the reporting will receive some care during the next year to actually bring the daily and the monthly reporting. But even more importantly, to the call center manager, bringing the stage light to them so that they don't have to kind of dig up information about what's happening in the call center, but they can just walk to their desks, take a look, see what the agents are doing, and then go on with their day. So what we already support is the agent activity monitoring and listening and whispering to the calls, and of course the project and office level monitoring. But what we want to still bring in next year is to bring the key performance numbers, bring the figures, and especially highlight if there's an anomaly, if there's something happening in the call center that requires the team lead to take action. They can easily see when they walk up to their desk and take a look that, hey, this item needs action, and then they can move on and do the required actions. So this is something that we will also have on the roadmap for 2026, which is in totality here. And basically, what I mentioned are the things that are in our focus to deliver the improved human connection, improved basically support for regulation, what was mentioned earlier. But also, other than these, there will surely be other additions later as well. Our main goal still is to keep your agents happy and allow your call centers to reach the best possible performance. We want you to be the top performers that achieve the 15% success rate in your outbound call to outreach. This was the LeadDesk roadmap for Outbound, and feel free to throw any questions to the Q&A, and I will hand the stage to the AI product manager, Shweta.
Thank you, Johannes. And let me quickly share my screen. So first of all, thanks, Johannes, for your outbound experience. And I would like to start from the slogan, which you have mentioned that at LeadDesk, our slogan is simplifying the human connections. Now, I would like to twist it a little bit that with the AI into the picture and the superpowers which humans have discovered, I would say that we are not only simplifying the human connections, but we are redefining the overall human experience itself. Now, if I would like to, maybe we can go to the next slide, Stefano. Now, if I see from the lead desk perspective, we are not new into the market of AI. We are not new to the world of AI. Even when the AI was not common across us, where people didn't know about ChatGPT, lead desk was already doing a lot of things with the help of AI. Now, go ahead. In 2014, we had our first AI dialer, and it was one of our AI features, which helped, the agents and the call centers to do an automatic dialing to the customers. And going forward, in 2016, we had our first chatbot experience, which was integrated with a lot of customers. And then going forward with the ChatGPT in the market, we have never stopped. We have a lot of products and the core offerings which we can give it and provide it to our customers, and we are still delivering a lot of AI features to our customers. Now, if we move to the next slide, Stefano. Yes. So in LeadDesk, our aim with AI is to be future-proof. We are way ahead in terms of technology, in terms of what AI is bringing into the market, and that means a shift in the call center world. We want to bring the efficiency and simplicity into the life of the call center world, and that means we provide a more valuable customer-centric experience, not only to the agents, but also to the team leads, to the customer success managers, and even to our end users as well. And with that, we just don't want to be the customer centric, but we also want to provide enhanced service quality at a much more optimized cost. And that means increasing in the overall customer and the agent satisfaction levels itself. Now, if we go to the next slide, Stefano. Yes, there's a lot of, a havoc in the people's mind that AI is going to replace people, and agents sometimes think that, oh, am I going to be replaced? But then we believe that no, AI will not replace people. It will in fact empowers us. You can consider AI as a new teammate, which has a lot of superpowers into their hands. It's not just simplifying the experience, it's bringing the efficiency, it's bringing the more smarter ways of working. And then we can do a lot of things since the data is in our hands. We could do the monitoring, we could be more efficient in the different ways with which we are working. Imagine initially we had all the Excel world where a human manual intervention was taking a lot of time. With AI, it's so much simpler and it's so much efficient. So yes, AI is not going to replace people, but it is going to make people more efficient and more faster in other relevant work as well. If we go to the next slide. Yes, now in today's contact center world, the AI is used more in terms of generating the insights, summarizing the calls, and providing the better dialing efficiency. Still, humans are needed to be more empathetic, They provide the monitoring. We still need humans, to monitor the calls, to monitor AI, because AI alone cannot sustain this world. Humans are still needed for the interventions. Humans are still needed for seeing the outcomes of what AI brings into the table. That means at some point we have to handshake the AI world with the human-centric world to bring a faster resolutions, for a better outcomes, and for the more meaningful interactions with our customers. And with that, if we go to the next slide, these are all the main AI core offerings from LeadDesk side. Today, we support two different kind of customer interactions. One is the outbound calls, and second one is the inbound calls. Now, in terms of AI, we have different stages and different core offerings. Each of these bricks are relevant to either outbounds or to inbounds. For an example, the first is the AI dialer. What AI dialer do is it helps the agents to make an automatic dialing so that the agents does not have to do a manual dialing, and it saves a lot of time of the agents. Now imagine once the dialing is done and the call is being recorded. Once the calling is done, we have the AI transcriber, which transcribes the full summary of the calls. It generates the AI-based transcriptions. Within the minutes, the call has been generated. And then comes the AI insights, which I will go more in the details in the coming slides. And the last but not the least is integration of the calls with the quality assurance tool. As Stefano was mentioning, that the key trends in the upcoming years is going to be the regulations. Regulations are coming everywhere into the picture. And then LeadDesk is not behind in that. That means we are connecting our quality assurance tools with all the insights which have been generated so that we make the life of agents and the tech leads more easy to monitor if the calls were up to the regulation standards, whether they meet certain quality aspects or not. So that's what we want to do with the QA tool. If we go ahead, Stefano. Yes, as I was mentioning, that we do not just want to be at one layer. We want to bring AI at multiple levels. That means we had our AI tools, which is providing the customer experience through the chatbots and helping them in better engagements. We have our tools, our AI tools for the agents, which helps them becoming more efficient and more faster. And then we have the AI tools at more on the admin side, which helps in doing the prediction of the resourcing needs and for a faster onboarding and for the training and for training the agents as well. So we are focusing the 360-degree circle of the entire customer journey with the help of AI. Moving ahead, Stefano. Yes, so this is our latest cool stuff, which we are doing with AI. It is known as AI Insights. Now, have you ever imagined that we can do the prompting on the call recordings itself? Yes, that is possible with the help of AI Insights. Imagine you are a tech lead or a team lead. What you can do is you can create your own prompts. You can configure your own prompts. For an example, if you want to see how was my call quality, whether certain things were being discussed, whether the agent was polite enough in the call, what was the total experience of the agent, or what was the total nerves or feeling of the customer itself. Now, that is all possible with the help of AI Insights. You can configure your prompts on the project's level, on the call level, and you can monitor all the call insights, all the summaries of the call, which could provide you the meaningful insights from the call recording. And with the AI, now the data-driven insight, the data-driven is not sufficient. You have to be insight-driven, and that's what AI insights bring into the table. That means, if you go to the next screen, Stefano, that means with the help of AI Insights, it provides you the key insights of the call recordings quickly within few minutes. The moment the call recordings are available, it helps you to monitor the call qualities. It helps in more increased customer engagement. And then at later stage, it will also help you to train the agents more efficiently so that you can monitor the call. You can tell that, okay, these calls are, the red flagged ones. It needs more training, and these ones are the green flagged ones, and these are, the best ones through which we can train the agents. Moving ahead. So right now this is right now in the pilot phase. This is right now in the testing phase. We are doing the pilots with some of our customers in the Netherlands and in Finland. And we always believe that testing before going to the market is something which provides us meaningful insights, and it is value driven. And keep your hands because we are going to release it very soon, and the release is planned somewhere around 2026, early 2026 quarter 1. So that is something which we are doing with the AI insights. So if we just kind of summarize, Stefan, you can go to the next step. Yes, our mission with AI is not just present at one level, but then AI as a tool, which is a central enabler at LeadDesk at across multiple levels. It is a seamless ecosystem. That means that it's not only meant for outbound, but it is also meant for inbound. And the AI is a horizontal tool which is available across our products and features. The next one is a scalable. We are creating our AI features in such a manner that it is scalable across the products, and it is scalable not only in terms of the traffic, but then it is scalable in a way that the infrastructure is good. Even if the load and the traffic increases, it is still scalable and modular enough to handle such kind of load capacities as well. Going ahead. It is, of course, needs to be customer centric because the customer is the key and we value your feedbacks. So we are ready to accept the changing world, and it needs to be the customer driven. And the next one and the last is, of course, we want with AI to boost the productivity and reduce the cost. That means we want to bring the solutions which just not only provides the productivity but also reduces the cost optimally and saves the cost. And at the end, I would just like to mention one thing that the contact center world is not just now the phones. You can, I mean, that's long gone. Now the future. Maybe you can click next, Stefano, and I think it's the last. Yeah. The future is, of course, it's not room of phones, but it is more intelligent and AI-driven automations which provide meaningful human insights. And everything is possible through AI by bringing the efficiency and the smarter ways of working. So that's all from my side. But then let me know if you have any questions, or if you are really interested to do some pilots. We are here and we could take your feedbacks, and we will be really interested to do the pilots as well for all the new AI features which we are going to release in the market. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Shweta. Thanks very much for Johannes and Stefano, who are now joining us once more for our live Q&A session. And we are going to have a quick look through what's been asked. Stefano has leapt on all the questions in the chat already, but let's share them all for everybody who's not reading the chat. The first question we had, or the first comment we had, was about these recent anti-spam applications that are affecting people's response rate. Stefano, you had quite a lengthy answer to that. Do you have a short version you can share about your response to that?
Yeah. First of all, yes, it's true. There are anti-spam apps. There are even built-in OS countermeasures that both Apple and Android have been releasing in the past year, or even very recently, like Apple. We are studying the OS base, but there is no fail-proof way to avoid that other than avoiding your numbers to be burned, meaning that the customers will start reporting them as spam. So to avoid customers starting reporting your numbers as spam, of course, you have to respect the regulation, especially Robinson's list, meaning the "do not call me" kind of lists. So if a customer is on a "do not call me" list and you still call them, it is very likely that that number will be marked as spam and then burned, and then unfortunately, there is nothing else that we can do from our side, nor probably that you can do from your side, other than trashing the number and using a new one. As I already mentioned in the beginning, we have introduced ways for you to select the outbound number based on the previous call with the customer. So for instance, if you are trying to call a customer 3, 4, 5 times and the customer never answers, you can decide at any point to change the number. You can decide to put, of course, the customer on a different list if you wish. Or another thing that I put on the chart is that you can decide to brand your number with Hiya or Haya. I don't know how to pronounce the company, but that actually works very well both on Android and iPhone. So when the customer sees the call the first time, and of course that number is not yet on a burned list or on a spam list, then the customer will at least know that the call is coming from a specific reputable company rather than a generic number. And there was actually somebody even commenting that they went as far as branding number as name of the agent from XXX company to personalize it even further. But yes, it is true, spam apps are there. Mobile OSs themselves are introducing ways to prevent spam. It is a phenomenon that is very prevalent. Actually, it is more prevalent in the southern part of Europe than in the northern part of Europe, we have noticed. But still, everywhere, these spam apps are there. So, of course, we can help you just getting more numbers, even though, as we all know, numbers are a finite resource. At some point, they will end, and we have to recycle them. But it just you have to be careful in respecting the regulations, and of course, trying to use all kinds of different ways to improve the pickup rate.
Thank you, Stefano.
Long answer.
Long answer. That was the short version of the long answer. It turned out longer than the short version. Well, never mind. We've had actually the most popular question in the chat seems to be, are we getting the presentation slides and recording later? And I have been assured that yes, we are. So that will be available to everybody who was here to review after the fact and share with colleagues if they want to. We've also had a couple of questions about voice bots. I don't know whether Stefano or Shweta, is this more your arena?
Maybe Shweta.
Maybe
Yes.
Shweta.
Yes, so we are piloting the AI voice bot with one of the customers, but it is not live yet. So very soon in 2026, we are also going to introduce the voice bot into the system. And then I see one more question that whether it would be possible to make AI voice agent calls based on the insights. So yes, we are investigating that how AI can help in training the agents or training people, maybe based on the best sales pitches and the worst sales pitches. Imagine that if AI can generate the insights on out of all the call recordings, these are the best sales pitches. Can we train our agents based on that? Yes, it's possible. And then maybe tomorrow, it's still under the investigation that could the voice bots can also make the calls. That's something under the investigation. But yes, the AI agent coach is something which we are investigating for 2026.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that question, if I can actually read the question, because the question is it possible to make AI voice agent calls based on the insights? So it sounds like an outbound voice agent to me rather than an inbound. So if we're talking about an outbound, that is very regulated inside Europe, and I would say that it's a bit dangerous to start making robocalls like in US, right? So if the question was about robocalls like in US, in Europe, that's, well, it's not exactly a no, but it's a very dangerous and gray area where we probably don't want to venture. But if you're actually asking the other question, which is like, can we feedback the insights as a knowledge to the inbound voice bots? then yes, that is possible, and we are investigating that. I wanted to make sure that the right question was answered. So yeah.
Thanks, Stefano. I believe that is about time for us. Any last questions, any last minute questions? Throw them in the
There
chat
was
now.
a question about how do I know that my number is already spam? There should be, again, depending on your country, some publicly available, let's say, services that will do the lookup, or then you can very simply just call yourself from your own number using a specific spam app, or then some apps may allow you to do a sort of a check for the caller ID. So testing if that specific number is in their database. Of course, each app has their own database, so we don't really, I don't think there is a single known foolproof way to test all the apps, but some of these registers are public, some of these registers are just specific to the app. I think the easier way is just to call yourself, frankly, from the specific number. Then there are multiple questions about the AI summarizer not being accurate in Dutch. I don't know if I think you're aware of this, Shweta, and I heard that you were working on that, but can you maybe give a couple of words on that?
Yes, so we know that AI summarizer is not yet accurate, but then we do have the improvements coming in for 2026. And then you can see that AI Insights is also one enhancement on top of AI summarizer, because at AI summarizer, we just do one level of prompting, but with AI Insights, it will give you even more flexibility to generate your own prompts. So in coming days, of course, there will be improvements on AI summarizer.
I think last question, just for the last minute, is it possible to target different groups at different times in LeadDesk? For example, retired folks in the morning, if we have that data. Yes, you just have to create separate lists in LeadDesk Outbound, and then one list will be called retired folks, and the other list will be called working folks, and then you instruct your agents to call one list in the morning and call the other list in the afternoon.
Or
I
indeed,
hope that answers your question.
you can actually set calling times on a particular contact list, so that a particular contact list can only be called at a particular time of day. That's also possible.
Thank you, Rob.